students. In journal proper, let us today do question number 4 and question number 5. So question 4 is related to that opening journal entry. How to write that? Let us complete first. See on the page number 198 of your textbook. Dhrumil Kumar start business with the following assets and liabilities on 1/1/2015. Write the opening journal proper. Cash 18,000. Bank balance 12,000. Now as we have understood, when you write the journal proper, we are recording those transactions which are not included in any other subsidiary book. Any businessman always prepare cash book and bank book, or you can say bank account and cash account in the cash book, two columnar cash book, so that these two balances which are given are not to be recorded here, but that we will record directly in the cash as a two capital. So cash transaction and a bank balance, whatever is given, to be recorded in the cash book and not in journal proper. This thing you keep very clear in your mind. Rest of the assets and liabilities we are going to record here. So the rest of the things are furniture 15,000, stock of goods 20,000, personal debtors of 5,000 and 12% loan from that Mayaben of rupees 10,000. So rest of the assets and liabilities to be entered. So your transaction on 1/1/2015, January 1st, we record first as a furniture account debit. As we have understood, the format of the journal proper is the same of our normal journal entry. So date, particulars, LF number, debit and credit rupees. Then you have stock of goods, account debit, amount rupees 20,000. Then you have the debtors, that also having a debit balance. All the assets are having debit balance. Debtor is one of our liquid asset having debit balance. To the 12% loan, you have 12% loan from Mayaben, loan account. Amount is rupees 10,000. Now how to find? The remaining balance will go as a capital account. So how to find the capital account? In our journal chapter we have learned, do the total of all the debit minus the total of credit will give you the amount of your capital account. So that capital account will come rupees 30,000. And the narration is that we opening journal entry for assets and liabilities. So this way the journal proper to be done. At the end of the example, you have to do the total. Your total is 40,000 rupees. 40,000 rupees, right, as a total. So the first example is only of writing the opening journal entry. What you have learned in this, that opening cash balance and a bank balance not to record here, that will be posted in the cash book itself. Now we see the second question, that is question number 5. In this we are going to learn the second portion of journal proper, that is the transaction, subsidiary book which are not maintained by the businessman. Those transactions will come in this. In this category, 3 type of transactions are there. Suppose any subsidiary book not maintained, like bills receivable, bills payable, or a purchase return or a sales return, the books in which the few transactions are there, trader may not write. Or you may have a credit purchase of an asset or a sale of an asset on credit basis. Those transactions will come in the second category. So we see the question related to that, question number 5. Now before we start this, let us have an idea about what that bills transaction. See, we are doing that economic transaction are in two types. One as a cash, one credit. The cash transaction, there is no issue. As soon as we sell the goods, we get the money, so we are not in trouble. But when the transaction is credit, you need to assure that you will get money or not. For that assurance, you are going to write a bill. So the creditor, you have the relationship of a debtor and a creditor. When you purchase the goods and when you sold the goods, these two relationships are going to be established. Okay. Suppose two parties are there, that is the purchaser and a seller. Seller sold the goods. He is in tension of getting money. So to ensure his receipt of money, he will be writing the bills receivable. The bills receivable, what he write, he give it to the purchaser. The purchaser has to put sign on this bill, and the same bill he has to return back to the seller. So as soon as he put the sign, that bill become bills payable. So bills payable is a liability, bills receivable is an asset, and then this bill will come back to the seller. So in this manner, the bill transactions are recorded. When the trader sold goods on credit, he writes the bill. That bill he send it to the purchaser. Purchaser sign it, it become bills payable. After that, he has to again return that bill to the seller. This is what situation you have to keep in mind when you write the journal entries for the bills transaction. So based on this, we learn in the question number 5. Look at the page number 199 of your textbook. Sri Gujarat Store does not maintain a separate subsidiary book for the transactions of bills. So bills he don't maintain, bills receivable, payable, purchase return and sales return. So the related two transactions are in this particular question. So here number 1, dates are not mentioned, so we will be writing the serial number of the particular transaction. So transaction number 1, pro forma remain the same, so you have to draw the same pro forma, date, particular, LF number, debit and credit. Drew a bill of rupees 8,000 on Ramnik, which he accepted and returned. So here, see, you are the seller. You have drawn a bill to the Ramnik. Ramnik has signed, he has accepted and the bill is returned. It means that bill is coming. We have to write the journal entry of this particular position. What happened? Bills comes in. Okay, so debit what comes in, bill to be debited. And who has given the bill? The party, that is the Ramnik. So our journal entry become bills receivable account debit, to the name of the trader. The trader name is Ramnik. Amount of transaction is 8,000 rupees. The narration to be written, that being bill accepted by Ramnik and returned back. That is what the narration to be mentioned. Number 2, accepted a bill of rupees 3,000 drawn by Vijay and returned to him. Now here the situation is different. Vijay is the seller. He has returned the bill. So for us, we become the payable. Bill become payable for us. We are accepting and giving it to Vijay. So here we are writing journal from the purchaser point of view, as if we are the purchaser. First journal we have written as a seller. Now we are writing as a purchaser. So when we sign and we give back the bill payable is going out of our business, and the person, he is the receiver, his account to be debited. So your second journal entry, that is Vijay account debit, he is the receiver. So debit the receiver, that is rupees 3,000, and what goes out of the business, that is to bills payable. payable account rupees 3,000. So your narration is being bill returned by Vijay, accepted and returned back to him. That is what the narration to be written at the end of the transaction. I hope you all will write narration on your own. That is second. Number 3. Bill receivable of the Ramnik endorsed to Ramesh. Now we already have bill with us. See, here we have entered. We have the bill with us. Now this bill we are not keeping. The same bill what we have, that bill we are giving it to our creditor towards the payment. So once again this bill will go out of the business and received by our creditor towards the payment. Instead of paying cash, we are giving the bill to him. It is as good as an asset. So here the bill goes out and the receiver receives the bill. So the entry become, we have given it to the Ramesh. So Ramesh becomes the receiver. So the third journal entry, Ramesh account debit to again bills receivable account, and the transaction amount is not mentioned. You have to consider 8,000 as that bill was of 8,000. Being bill receivable endorsed to Ramesh. Your narration becomes that being bills receivable endorsed to Ramesh, which you have received from Ramnik. Okay, which you have received from Ramnik. Number 4. That goods of rupees 3,000 returned by Paresh to us. Here they are not maintaining even the purchase return and the sales return book. So those transactions also we will cover in our journal proper. 3,000 returned by Paresh. It means that we have sold goods to Paresh. He is returning goods to us back. So goods are coming. It becomes sales return. So number 4. Return account debit to Paresh account. The amount of transaction is 3,000 rupees. 3,000 being goods returned by Paresh. The journal entry narration being goods returned by Paresh. Number 5. Goods of 1,500 returned to Mahendra. Here see the word that is to and by indicate whether it is purchase return or a sales return. Here we are sending it to our creditor. So we are sending it to that Mahendra. So Mahendra become the receivable. So that Mahendra account debit to purchase return account credit. So here on number 5. Mahendra account debit to purchase return account. Amount is rupees 1,500. 1,500. At the end you have to do the total and complete. Here write down that being goods returned to Mahendra. So in this manner, whichever subsidiary book you are not maintaining, for those transactions we include them in our journal proper. So firstly we have understood opening journal entry, and secondly the subsidiary book not maintained, transactions journal entry. Main you have to keep this particular thing in your mind. The relationship between the debtor and creditor, it become a purchaser and seller. Always the seller writes the bill. Purchaser has to sign and return, that become bills receivable for the seller and payable for the purchaser. We have one chapter, bills of exchange, in our part 2. We will be learning this concept very much in detail, but initially from this chapter point of view, this much you must remember and you have to understand. Thank you.